welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandlicker, and joining me today, Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello, Ben. How are you?
Just fabulous. It's another below deck sailing yacht day. So we're going to be recapping that, which is a pretty good episode. We also have lots of exciting things coming down the pike for us. You may have heard our tour, the Mounting Hysteria tour, is starting next week in San Francisco and San Diego. The time is running out for you to get tickets. So get your tickets at watchwhatcrappens.com. And then 1 week later, it's the Golden Crappies live in New York City at the Town Hall, a prestigious venue on Broadway. We are returning to Broadway for the Golden Crappies. It's going to be a big, wonderful show. Most of it is sold out, actually, so be sure to get your tickets. And then 1 week after that, we are going to Salt Lake City and also to Denver. And so it's going to be a crazy 3 weeks for us. Cannot wait to dive into it. Again, go to watchwhatcrappens.com to get tickets for all of those and many other cities. We're just not boring you with the entire list. These are the pressing dates in our lives. Also, patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. We are doing Traders recaps over there. We did episode 3 that came out yesterday. So go check that out. It's a lot of division online, a lot of division. Different fan groups are quarreling with each other about different things. It's kind of funny. So if you're not watching the Traders, get with it. It's so good. I think that's basically it. And of course, Crap is on demand. You can watch us. Hi. What's going on with you, Ronnie?
Oh, nothing. Just plugging along, just going through it. As my Mima would say, I'm still here. Everything's good. Just getting ready for the crappies, getting all these shiny things delivered to my house to wear, getting music ready, and then watching my bravs. What more can you really ask for from life? I mean, the world is like quite literally burning down around us, but at the same time, we're having so much fun. I don't know. It's a cluster of emotions, that's for sure. But guess what? It is. You know what? I'll tell you where emotions are more understandable on below deck sailing, because Ben got 1 more hour of sleep than I did last night. And you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm off this boat. I'm back to Putin. I'm going back to Putin.
By the way, before we get into that, I forgot to mention that voting for round 1 of the crappies, round 1 ends tomorrow. And then round 2 is going to start up again on Friday. Round 2 is where we get our finalized nominees. So if you want to make sure that your favorite gets to the round 2, do all your voting at watchwhatcrappens.com. Sorry about that. Should mention that in the announcements.
Okay, well, come up with another opening then. Just kidding.
That's what happens when you miss an hour. That's what happens when you get 9 hours and I get 8 hours. Okay, if I had 1 more hour of sleep, maybe I would have remembered on time.
Ben had 5 drinks only last night. Ding, 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 ding. So many dings. My God. If there was a ding going off every time I had a damn French fry when I was promising not to eat one, I'd be fucking tinnitus Joe over here.
Yeah. Tinnitus Joe.
Maybe I should have gone with tinnitus Tim. Guess that would work better, right?
Well, either way, we are back with Below Deck sailing Yacht. So previously, the big cliffhanger is, will Cloyce be able to fill a cloche up with smoke in time for these drag queens to eat dinner without losing their mind? And unfortunately, Lola, who started off the charter very friendly, has revealed herself to be a nightmare, a true nightmare.
A useless cow is what Lola. And let me tell you, she's not useless actually, because I kind of love her, and I love her because here's what I love: tacky people who don't understand they're tacky, and then they make everyone's life hell because they're tacky and ignorant. It's kind of cracking me up how she's like, what is this, a cheese stick in ball form? It's called a fucking croquette, you classless wench. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm so embarrassed for her, but I'm also like, I love it.
Yeah. I guess this is just going to add fuel to the fire, because what I was alluding to before with the Traders is that Drag Race fans are feuding with Housewives fans at the moment.
Oh, hell no.
It's a big fight that's happening on Twitter. And
I don't think that that's fair for drag race people to come for us. You do not kick off Housewives first. What kind of drag queen is standing up for another drag queen that's murdering housewives? That is disgusting behavior. Get it together over there. We need to support each other, not kill each other off. And that's absolutely ridiculous. Killing off all the fabulous women.
Yeah.
Boo.
I know. Listen, I agree. But right now, there's a big feud happening, and I think that also there's an issue with I think the challenge fans are also doing something because Wes had to he had to like lecture his fans and be like, challenge fans are the best fans in the world, but you have to relax. Because right now it's too much. It makes the challenge look bad. I was like, what is happening on Twitter? This is Game of Thrones happening out there with all their fan groups.
They usually ever so classy, the challenge. It's looking bad right now.
But either way, this is just to say that like at a time when these two groups, you know, Drag Race and Housewives, Bravo fans are clashing. Here we are again with drag queens on Bravo. And like, I'm sorry to say, this is not going to heal any wounds because Lola is awful. And I'm trying to bridge the gap here between our communities, but Lola is not going to help.
I like Lola. Listen, Lola's just doing drag queen things. You can't get a drag queen on a boat and then be like, don't be bitchy to people. Like, that's her thing. That's what she does. Like, she's on stage. She's going to be bitchy. The one I really have a problem with is anal for every answer. That fucking queen needs to shut up and go away. He is literally the worst. And he says anal 10 times in an episode. Like, we get it. You like it in your butthole. Okay. Like, we don't need it as a running joke in our whole, like, in our entire fucking 3-arc episode arc or whatever we're doing here, people. Okay, can that queen, but I think keep bitchy Lola. You know,
well, you know who's my favorite? Ellery. Ellery, all her name.
Isn't she the sister?
I don't know who she is.
And I think sounds like celery, like the most useless vegetable. I just feel so bad for her. I think she's somebody's sister, so they brought her on, and she's trying to go up against a drag queen. Ellery, go braid your hair.
But yet at the same time, I love how much Ellery gets under Lola's skin. Lola's like, oh, shut up, Ellery. She's like, I'm just saying this is how I felt about the night.
Because Lola's being told off by a normie girl with bad hair. Like, he is not happy.
Yeah. Like an unfabulous girl named Ellery, one letter away from celery. And she and like he cannot deal with the fact that she's there.
Seriously. He's like, you're in cotton. I'm not listening to you.
You haven't mentioned anal once on this entire trip.
Anal. Okay. So we're worried about smoke under Clois's cloches, which I think is a very good business name, actually. Clois's cloche. Clois's cloche. And then at the end of the day, you could say Clois's cloche. Wait. Clois's cloche is closed.
Clois's cloche is closed.
Clois's cloche is closed.
What sort of clothes do you wear to close Clois's cloches when it's closed?
What do you wear? There's an answer here. I know it.
A cloak. Sport. Shut up, Ellery. Come on, play the game.
Ellery is like yoga pants.
Oh my God, Ellery, you're so disgusting. Ellery, don't you understand the whole joke with Clois's cloche? God.
Okay, so everyone's worried he can't get the little lighter lit, and it's very, very dramatic, and Clois is like, whoa, the trouble's brewing for Clois's cloche. Clois's cloche is about to be closed. Get my cloak. So luckily Lola has just had a fucking diva fit and left to do coke in the bathroom, which we all know is what she's doing because she never eats one damn bite of anything. That's why she's complaining. She's like, I'm not eating this because it's terrible. No, it's not. Your nose is eating more than everybody at this table, and you fucking know it. That's also why I like her, because my ass would be following her down there. Like, girl, I hated that mozzarella stick too.
There's coke under Clois's cloche. So, Clois is like, oh man, like the smoke thing, it worked for like 7 plates. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. I mean, Jesus, can we get one smooth, perfect dinner service?
So no, you can't. But Lola has run to the bathroom to do coke, allegedly by me, and then now there's one person missing from the table. So luckily, the empty one, the one without smoke, the smoke-free cloche, gets pulled off and it doesn't matter because there's not anybody there to be like, where's my smoke, bitch? So he lucked out on that one.
Yeah. And Lola comes back to the table and Lola's like, oh, food's here now. Love that. And so Clovis is like, okay, you're back. Perfect. That was good timing. Yeah, I was downstairs. It took so damn long. I had to do 5 bumps of cocaine just to wait for the smoke that's not even under my clothes. Shut up, Ellery. I know you want to say something. I'm not in the mood.
Okay, well, for your main course this evening, you have pan-seared filet mignon and then a little peach and hickory smoke. Please enjoy.
And Lola's like, wow, this is really great. I was not here. Oh, no, Lola. Wow, this is really great. I was not here for the cheese stick and a ball, but I'm here for this.
Honestly, I have to say, if I'm having steak, peach smoke is not really part of the experience that I want. Maybe it's because I'm not a huge fan of peaches. It's like I will always remember the very first season of Hell's Kitchen, that show, and the finalist that season served up steaks with like little rounds of peach on top. And I always thought that seems so disgusting, but I think that it might actually be a thing, steak and peaches. I'm not sure. But like, who did this? Who came up with steak and peaches? I don't think this is right.
I don't know, but if you've seen it twice, that means that it's a thing, I guess. It only takes 2 times, or is it 3 times it takes to be a thing? But I'll tell you this. I think Clovis knows his audience, and he's heard anal so many times that he's just serving the emoji for anal, which is a peach. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. But also smoke. Yeah. So something that they can inhale.
Hey, listen, you can't win them all right?
No, you definitely can't. So Clovis is talking about like, well, it wasn't ideal that there was a malfunction. And Daisy's like, well, they sound like they're happy, just like me. Can you hear how happy I am right now? And Clovis is like, yeah, well, the alternative ends my career and possibly my life.
So Gary is telling Chase, why don't you go to bed? And Chase is like, I'll be okay. I'm the best worker there is. I don't need naps. You know what I eat? Hours for breakfast. That's what I eat. And Gary's annoyed because he's being, good little boy and trying not to take breaks. But this could endanger the boat. And Gary hates endangering the boat, especially by being fall down drunk, which he has been about 90% of this.
Yes. That's when accidents happen the most when you're suffering from fatigue. Sort of like the fatigue you get when you have 4 hours of sleep and had 10 drinks in 2 hours right beforehand.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to take breaks because he's Captain America.
It is a nice point counterpoint that you have Chase, who's like eager to have less sleep so he can do more work, versus Danny and Deanna, who are complaining and squabbling about 8 hours versus 9 hours of sleep, which, by the way, I can't remember the last time I had that much sleep in one night.
I know. We're not even blaming like any boss for it because we are each other's boss, I guess.
Yeah.
We're blaming age, okay? You know who's the ultimate boss? Age. Age is like, you will not sleep now. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to stay awake all night wondering what would happen if Angela Lansbury lived right next door to you and you were accused of murder. Would this be the one that she couldn't get you off of? Like, could this be the one case where she couldn't get one of her neighbors off? Age.
You know what kept me up last night is the fact that there's like an office next to our place, and its alarm recently has been going off, usually in the middle of the night or at like 6 a.m. and it will go and it'll go for 4 minutes straight. So that's what kept me up. So in this case, yes, age has something to do with it, but also a fucking alarm from a building. Someone fix that thing. I'm going nuts. Can you call the cops on an alarm? Can I Karen out on that alarm?
Well, it's especially comforting when the whole city's on fire, you fucks.
Yeah.
Like we
honestly,
may not have alarms going off on my head. It's difficult enough.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up if
I can Karen out.
If I can Karen out on someone else's.
Yes, you can. You should. You should call every number in the book. That's another thing that age brings. You don't care anymore. Complain. Okay.
False alarm complaints. Oh,
okay. So Danny is like, oh my God, today I was crazy. I was stuck in the laundry. Is she trying to punish me by putting me in here all day? Wait, is that Danny? No, that's Danny. Sorry. Today was crazy. I was stuck in the laundry. Is she trying to punish me by putting me in here all day? And Deanna's like, I try to understand both sides. You know, there's Putin, there's everybody else. Putin wins.
God, I feel bad for Danny getting punished by having to do her job description. So Danny is like, whatever.
You say potato, I have you murdered for not saying potato.
Whatever, Putin's kind of hot. To be honest, it's easier because she doesn't talk to me the whole day and it's actually kind of good. So she's kind of shooting herself in the foot. Why? She's shooting herself in the foot because she's getting better performance out of you by just like forcing you to do work, and then she can focus on people who are not nattering brats.
Yeah, you're really showing her by her kicking you out of her eyesight. It's like a pimple being like popped and then being like, oh my God, I sure showed them. No, you didn't. You're splattered all over the window, you idiot.
Are you like leading a revolution down there? Why is this Daisy shooting herself in the foot? Like what is coming back to bite her about this step of having you make the beds? Is she trying to imply that maybe Daisy's going to be stuck with shitty tablescapes or something? Like I don't understand what Danny is talking about here.
Danny doesn't even make any sense anymore. She doesn't even try, you know? Mm-hmm. So then Deanna's like, you know, I don't like this because I feel like I'm in between Daisy and Danny. No, you're not, because Daisy's not saying shit. It's just Danny. You're just in between Danny spewing bullshit everywhere at every turn.
So then meanwhile, upstairs at dinner, Mark, Mr. Anal, is like, so what's on the agenda for tomorrow? Let me guess. Anal. Okay, oh my God. Look at the way Ellery is handling her dinner roll. Disgusting. Who brought her? Oh, sorry. It was you. It was you, Detox. Well, tell your sister she's basic and she doesn't enjoy anal.
So Detox is like, oh my God. So Glenn, are you allowing all of the crew to come to the club with us? We're going to the club. We're going to the club. And Glenn is like, well, not everybody, you know, we got to man the boat. So caves aren't caves without a few bats in them. So then we cut to Danny and Chase flirting, sadly. It's kind of a sad flirt. Although I will say we saw Chase's wiener outline today.
Oh my goodness.
Holy moly. No wonder he's so popular on this show. Jeez, man. Good Lord. That baby wants his arm back.
Great day in the morning. So Danny's like, Chase is super fun and super positive. He's an open book, and that's the shit that I love.
How would you know what an open book looks like?
You're just shooting yourself in the foot, Ronnie, if you think I don't know what an open book looks like. It looks like a pair of shoes stacked on top of each other. So there, ha.
And she's like, yeah, open book. That's the part that I love. And the producer's like, love? Did you just say love? She goes, oh, come on. Not like I would say love, you know, like, you know, shut the fuck up. I'm not in love with him. Like, God, yeah, not yet.
So now the guests go to bed, and then the crew wakes up the next day for charter, and Gary's like, well, they seem to be having a fucking blast, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yes, Gary, this is the fucking charter I needed in my life. Oh, yes, I know it's a good spirit, blah, 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 blah. Just riding the high of having stopped drinking, blah, 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 blah.
So basically, Daisy wants to have a really good charter because she fucked up the last one was fucked up in general. So she's going to do her best, and she's going to do that by having a drag show where all the guys are going to be in drag. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So people are waking up and everything, and Daisy's telling Keith to do like a catwalk and introduce himself, and Keith is like, oh, I can slot drop. She's like, oh, okay, all right, well, I'm sure you can't, but that's cute of you to say that. He's like, no, I really can. I was in plays in high school.
So they're kind of flirting, I guess. Whatever.
I guess.
Gary takes it that way. He's like, oh my God, fuck. Now that Daisy's hooking up with Keith, I'm not liking it because jealousy creeps in when it's got something to do with Daisy, and I don't like that side of me. I just want everyone to know I'm still in love with Daisy because she's unattainable and it'll make me look like a better person.
So dinner is set for 7:30, and now Chase is helping Gary with the tender. Chase who did not take his break and might possibly be fatigued and may make a mistake now as a result. So Gary's like, hey, throw me that line, bro. Why are you in the reverse? Don't do it in reverse, bro. He's like, I'm putting it out of the gear, bro. It's like, oh, wow. And, Gary has the leadership skills of a fucking helicopter parent. Trust me, I get it. I'm like, yeah, he's the boss. That's why.
Right when he said
you're
that.
fucking up.
Right when he said, he has leadership skills of a fucking parent. I was like, he's going to drop that shackle. You just see it coming. And Gary's like,
don't lose the shackle, because that's what we do the tinder with. Oh, no, Gary. Put a tie on it, a cable tie. Oh, no, Gary. Cable tie on the shackle. Careful, the shackle doesn't drop. God damn it, Gary.
Bloop. He drops it.
Oh, by the way, I dropped the shackle. Oh, blah, you fucking idiot, blah, blah. This guy just doesn't listen. And if we don't have the shackle and the tender, we can't tow the tender. And that means the deckhand has to drive the tender to the dock, which is going to be shit, because I may have to do that, and I may be far away from my dearly beloved Daisy. Oh, blah, blah.
So he's doing the whole, we don't even have another shackle. We will have to call pot stores all over the continent to see if anybody has a shackle.
But of course, he's got a fucking shackle, because of course you do. Yeah. And if you didn't have a shackle, shame on you then, okay? What kind of one shackle ship is this?
That's right. Come for the Below Deck recap, stay for the shackle shaming. But then Chase does again. It's another self-serving defense of and this whole episode's about it, because Gary will big time do the exact same thing later in the episode, which is no one wants to accept that they have been a bad employee. So Chase is like, yeah, I dropped a shackle in the water. I make mistakes. I'm human. And he's trying to make me feel bad, even though Gary knows I didn't mean to do it. Gary just loves tearing me down. No, the point is, you don't get a pass because it's like you feel bad about it. And of course he knows it's a mistake. He doesn't think you intentionally meant to throw the shackle down to Davy Jones's locker. The point is that he was trying to tell you to be extra intentional about it, and you were cavalier about it, on top of the fact that you didn't take your break last night, and now you might be a little sleepy, which is why you probably dropped the shackle to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, sorry. Shackle shaming continues.
Yeah.
So then Glenn checks in with Daisy about who's going to go to the club. And she's like, well, it makes sense if the boys go, because they're going to be in drag. They'll want to be a part of it. And, just to make sure everyone knows they're straight, we can send me along, because they're all in love with me. So he's like, well, that makes sense. I thought you were going to go with Gary. She's like, yeah, I'm going. So then Glenn's like, are you sure the girls are going to be okay? Who gives a fuck what the girls think? I'm so sick of these whiny ass fucking girls on this boat. I can't take it. And at least for a while, I could take the Putins.
Diana. The Portuguese.
Gianna. Yeah, her. I could take her, but even she's the worst. And they were on Watch What Happens Live. Did you see it?
No, I couldn't. Honestly, I could not sit there and listen to what these two had to say about anything.
Me neither. I didn't watch it either, but I read a lot of comments, because I was like, no, I won't do that. But I read a lot of comments on it, and it just says that they were doubling down the whole time on their behavior.
Of course they were.
Still assholes. Even after watching yourself on TV, I can respect a good, listen, I watched myself on TV. It was a bad edit. At least try that. But these girls were like, no, Daisy sucks. No, you suck. But also, and I'm glad that she did this to you, because neither one of you deserve it.
Yeah. And also, Daisy is she's the star of the show, first and foremost. She's also your boss, and she gets to go on the fun shit. She gets to do the rewards. That's what she gets. And
also the drag queens want to hang out with Daisy, not with fucking Deanna and Dodo Bird over there. I don't want to hang out with you.
They definitely don't want to hang out with Danny.
No.
Danny is the type that goes, guys, just love me. I'm just they just think I'm so hilarious. And she'll put on little sparkles under her eyes and think she's fabulous. And then she'll be like, I just love Danny Minogue. And it's like, okay, great. Congratulations.
And the guys are like, that girl has taken every dick in front of us. We must stop her.
Yeah, I think Daisy has every right to take this opportunity, and I'm glad she does. And those girls can just suck it, okay? Because they are still getting 8 hours of an 8-hour break, which is a long time on a charter. So Glenn's like, well, will they be able to stick to their normal hours of rest? Because I remember when I was younger, I couldn't stick to my normal hours of rest. And they show the afro picture again.
Oh, well, what are their normal hours of rest? Every hour is a moment of rest. All right. So then it goes to Danny, who's calling Cloyce, and she's like, I've just been in laundry pretty much the whole day again. Hi, guess what? You're a stew on a boat. Okay?
Yeah.
What are you going to be mad
happens.
at the snuggle bear for constantly being thrown in the dryer?
Yep. And you told Daisy that she's not inspiring you. So as long as she's not as long as she's not inspiring you, she's not going to try to inspire you. So congratulations, welcome to the dungeon. Yeah. So now, and Danny's just like fantasizing about how fun it would be if they all went to the club. So now,
while shit talking Daisy, that's not how it works, ma'am. Okay, you need to kiss the little butt. All she does this entire episode is shit talk Daisy, talk about what a bitch she is, what a terrible boss she is, and then she's mad she doesn't get to go. What are you? No.
Yeah, you can't tell your boss, I really don't think you're just like really not inspiring me. And like, honestly, there's like no direction. And if we didn't have the direction, we like you don't give the direction and we have to do everything ourselves. And then you expect her to say, oh, okay. You know what I would love as a reward is for you to go to the club. And in fact, Danny probably thought that. Danny probably thought, Daisy realized that she was being a bad supervisor to us. So as like compensation, she should have sent us to the club to like make things right. That's probably what Danny thought.
Well, squeaky wheels. Everyone says squeaky wheel gets the grease. And my saying, squeaky wheel gets taken off the car and changed with a non-squeaky wheel.
It gets a new shackle.
Yeah.
Squeaky wheel has to clean the grease on this show.
Yeah. So then, let's see. Gary is tattletaling on Keith because he's in bed. And she's like, Gary, stop it. And then Gary's giving her a massage. And he's like, I've never seen Keith giving you a back massage. She's like, well, you've never seen Keith make my back break out in odd sores that can't be explained for months either. So
what I'm learning is as I get older, I think I'm better at knowing what I want in a partner. There's Gary, who's like a fucking yo-yo. And I pick up on that, and then I become hysterical and then reactive. Have you ever seen two yo-yos get tangled up in their strings? It's really disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And then you got Keith, what's the opposite of a yo-yo? He's like ground. He's just flat ground. And I like that. It's safe and secure, and your yo-yo can just land on it and just stop yo-yoing. That's nice. I like that energy.
Did anyone else just feel their boner go down as she was talking about Keith? I mean, not my literal boner, but my like figurative boner, I guess, because she's just like, and then there's Keith, safe, secure, low in sodium, good for the heart. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Keith needs to end up with fucking Ellery. Keith, the arm talker. Well, let me tell you. Did you notice this week how he does that?
Yeah, he does. That's funny. He does do that. I didn't notice it, but when you say it, I totally see it.
Oh,
yeah. Sometimes you go into McDonald's and you want to order a Gary. A nice Big Mac combo meal, fries, the lettuce and the secret sauce spilling off the buns, delicious. Or sometimes you just get a sad salad, and that's key. A McDonald's salad.
I can't wait. Thin feels better than cake tastes, or whatever they say. By the way, that's not true.
It's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be good for you.
By the way, thin does not feel better than cake tastes. I've been thin-ish. I've never been thin. I've been thin-ish, and let me tell you, cake is better. Okay? Now, can I tie my shoes more when I'm thinner? Sure. Can I wear clothes from more than Old Navy online? Sure. Cake's still better.
Wasn't it like nothing tastes as good as skinny feels? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels.
Yeah.
Kate Moss.
Yeah, Cake Moss. That should be her name. I was always hoping that would happen to her, that one day Kate Moss would be like, fuck it. I'm so sorry for heroin chic, everybody. Every day on Instagram, I'm going to be eating a cake. Call me Cake Moss.
Cake Moss. That's a nice reinvention. Nice.
I should do that. I should make a Cake Moss Instagram and then just start posting myself eating cake every day in like model shots. I'm going to do it.
That could be a drag persona.
No, not in drag. Cake. You know why I won't do drag, right? I will be beat up by other drag queens, not by straight people, not by homophobic people, by actual drag queens. They will drag me for filth. Okay, that's not about me. It is about Cake Moss. So I'm writing that down. New Instagram.
Cake Moss. So Daisy is like, girls, I want to speak to you about this evening. So I know they've invited us to the club, but neither of you are going to go, and I'll explain why. You're both two immature brats, and if I bring one of you, the other one's going to complain. I don't want to hear it anymore. Also, you haven't been cleaning, and Danny's annoying. So both of you are going to get 9 hours of rest tonight, and that way you two will be well rested, and it's just the way it's kind of worked out, and I'm going to go to the club. And Diana's like, well, it's up to you. Fine.
Well, they're both a mess. I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll get it done real quick.
And Danny's like, somebody get my fucking pumpkin because I'm Cinderella and Daisy is my evil stepmother. This bitch will prevent me from going to the ball. You were never invited to the ball. No. And let me tell you, the second you left your damn Payless over there would be the last you saw of it because no prince would be showing up at the door trying to claim it.
Last time I checked, you were going to the ball, or at least you had your mouth around one in the guest room. So you've been getting your privileges, ma'am. Okay,
yeah, you've had enough balls.
Here. Okay, as far as I can tell, Cinderella did not apply for the job of sweeping up ashes and then complain that she didn't like her job and wanted to go to the ball. Okay, Cinderella was in a shitty situation with a shitty stepmother who came in and fucked up her life. You actually applied to be Cinderella. You actually filled out an application and went through a process and said, I want to be Cinderella. I would like to clean up after people, please. And then you got here, and now you're wondering where your chariot is. There is no chariot. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, stop stealing all the balls. So then Deanna's like, well, she's doing it on purpose because she's mad at Danny and now it's affecting me. Also, you're boring, okay? And drag queens don't want to hang out with you. I'm sorry. You seem like a fairly nice girl 80% of the time. Them drag queens do not want you, girl. Those drag queens probably said, do not bring those girls. Don't do it.
There's no way that those drag queens want to hang out with Diana. Sorry, like, you're just not fun. You seem, like Ronnie said, you seem like a very, very nice person. You're beautiful, but you're too much of an introvert for these drag queens. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. They've already got Ellery. Okay,
They've got Ellery.
Keith is talking about the plan. So they're making the drag show plan, you know, the guys. They're like, oh my God, we have to wear wigs. It's so wacky. And the dinner's being planned, and Cloyce is like, last night's dinner was absolutely terrible. So these charter guests have a grandiose personalities, and I'm going to give them a meal to match. Truffles, caviar, then I'm going to do mushrooms on another thing, then I'm going to do another fish with mushrooms, and then I'm going to do another fish with mushrooms. It's going to be nuts.
Chef Cloyce is going to work, bitch. The category is cloches. So, and then the guys start getting into their drag, which we've seen this a million times, like neon wigs, bad makeup, strange outfits. I feel like they do this every single season on Below Deck Sailing, right?
They're all very tragic drag queens, and they do it in that way that's like, we're still straight guys, you can tell, right? You know, where they don't fully commit. They're just like, let's get some neon wigs. In fact, I think they're the same neon wigs we see all the time. Do they just keep those now in the props?
I think so, because I could swear we've seen these neon wigs before, especially on Gary. But this time Glenn wears one, which is kind of funny. and he wears it like for a good amount of the episode. So they're just like joking about it and everything. And Keith is like, this is very nerve-wracking. I am so far out of my comfort zone right now. But at the end of the day, that's what life is all about. Out of your comfort zone, you're just wearing a wig. You're wearing a wig and like, you know, I guess it's the outfit or whatever, but like, it's not like you've been commissioned to do brain surgery. You're still doing the same stuff you do every day.
That's what life's all about. So Daisy's like, before we start dinner, we have a little surprise for you, drag queens. Without further ado, to MC your fashion show is Princess Laquifa. Okay. Why?
He's like, here comes Princess Queef. Why? I agree. Why? But this is, you know, it's drag humor, you know? So Keith comes out, Princess Queef comes out and does a dance. And then
Lola's
next
like,
up
that's
is,
like a cheese stick in man form. I was like, okay, what? That one makes more sense.
And then Davide is next, and it's David Diva. Davidiva.
Oh.
And then Davidiva is doing like a hula hoop dance, and they're like, oh yes, come on. Ellery could never. And then
My drag
and he's
queen
like
name would be Gorgonzola. I don't know why. It's not really
I was gonna
funny
say
or funny or
mozzarella.
anything. I just really like Gorgonzola.
what about cake moss?
Cake Moss. You're right. I would be Cake Moss. Thank
We're
you.
misguided. So then we have Gary is Carolina Queen. So he comes in and he does this whole thing. He does this like legs like windmilling over the sideboard. You know, like he's done this before.
Really? I mean, he's flung himself over tables and fallen down a lot, but drag?
Well, like seductive dance bullshit. I don't know. Then
Wow.
Chase comes out. He is Chastity Thundercock, which would
Oh, Chase City. I get it. Because his name is
Chastity.
Chase.
That's like Chastity.
By the way, we didn't talk about the part where we got to see his wiener outline when he was putting on his dress. I just want to say again, wow. Okay, go ahead.
I was like, am I seeing what I'm seeing right now? I'm sure.
Was that
I'm sure
even
there
real, or was that like one of the fake ones people use on Twitter? Not that
Well, I feel like on this show, if they're gonna like do like a fake wiener, they would literally put in like an object, and so this looked veiny. It looked like a real
it was veiny,
erectile function, not dysfunction.
It was function.
It was erectile function happening.
Yeah, it was a lot
big.
of functions.
I was like,
It was like the
I can't
junior
believe they
league. There
even
was so
showed
much
that.
functions happening.
yeah, it was like you could literally put a cocktail on that thing, just like it was like a shelf.
Yeah,
Because it was like off to the side, you know.
yeah. It was like pointing to. It was like I'm was stupid. You know, it was pointing to Danny.
Danny. Where was the shackle? So then Chase does the whole thing. I mean, Chase looks terrible in drag because he's barely in drag, and he has all those. Actually has really bad tattoos, so it just looks.
He does.
janky.
God bless his heart. But you know who,
Although
who do you
bad
think looked
tattoos-
best?
Probably Gary.
Really? I think Keith looked the best. I think he looked adorable. It's a cute face.
Keith looked like what's her face used to love to twerk on Below Deck Med.
Oh, Courtney.
Courtney. He looked like
Yeah, he was like a Courtney with slightly more personality.
yeah. How could you say that to me? Oh,
Okay, so now we've just gotten a drag show. So what do we get for dinner? Salad, mixed green salad. But it does have a Parmesan emulsion, and so Detox is like, "Oh yes, I'm here for a Parmesan emulsion," and they all laugh because the drag queen said it.
Yeah, and then there is, I have to say, the lobster crepe with truffle and whatever that cream sauce. It looked delicious, and I wanted that. But I was also like, this is kind of heavy food before going to the club. But I guess
Also, for someone who just keeps screaming anal over and over again. So he's like, yeah, you have lobster crepe. I grated an ounce of truffle into the crowd. I like that he's like, an ounce of truffle. Yeah. And so they love it. But then, well, first we get Danny complaining that she doesn't get to go to the club, which of course, and she's like, I wish I was going to the club. And Chloe's like, it sounds like the worst thing ever. She's like, I know, but I want to so badly. I just want to.
So then I guess probably Ellery is like, who's coming with us tonight? Well, I'm going to go. Gary's going to go. Chase is going to go. And Keith is going to come along. They've been really good sports all season. Unlike my little brat girls. Hope you didn't hear this up down there in the bathroom that you're cleaning, girls.
So the guys have to dock the boat and drag, and that's funny.
It's funny
so
that they do this.
the first thing that was served looked really good. You know, it was like was it polenta or something with the mushroom or whatever, the crepe
with the lobster
crepe or whatever. That looked delicious. But then he's serving fish again with more mushroom. Why? Why are you doing that?
I missed the second fish. I missed. Oh yeah, the branzino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that with more mushroom?
I would have zero complaints. That to me sounds like an ideal lineup. Fish and mushroom followed by fish and mushroom. Yes, I love mushrooms. I love fish.
It's a lot.
I want that.
It looked fine, you know, although mushroom and asparagus puree doesn't sound okay. But you know what?
That's weird,
I'm going to get off
actually.
Cloyce's ass because he made a crepe, and that's like my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite things.
Yotam Ottolenghi, the famous cookbook writer. I made one of his dishes that called for making a mushroom ketchup. And can I tell you something? It was divine. I think mushroom ketchup should be a thing. I think we
mushroom
need to have
ketchup?
Yes, I don't even remember. It was something
Doesn't it
like
just look like baby poo?
It's a little bit like it's almost the color of it's sort of the color of the hoodie I'm wearing, but more like a tan. It
That's
looks
disgusting.
just like a tan. It was delicious. It was like all the fun of ketchup with just a smack of mushroom to it.
All the fun of ketchup. That would be your fun. That would be your drag name. All the fun of ketchup.
Or just mushroom ketchup.
No, I like all the fun of ketchup. That's
All the
just so
fun
you.
of ketchup.
All the fun of ketchup. But none of the
Now
cleanup.
with more mushroom. Here at Ketchup, we've decided to change things up. So now when you get ketchup, it's going to come with 100% more mushroom in it because that's just what's good for you.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So then Cloyce is like, they may think they've seen it all, but I have to say, the chef does, in fact, have a few tricks that you may not have seen yet. I made your nose disappear. Lola's like, where's my fucking nose, bitch?
I need to use that thing and not just for smelling.
You know.
I also love that when he's like, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. He's sitting there doing this. He has a ball or something that he puts into his hand, and then he's doing this for 5 minutes, getting it to hide. He's like, it's gonna disappear. Just hold on. Keep the camera rolling. Just a little bit longer, and it's still there. Oh, whoops. No more ball.
Well, I can't make anything disappear, so
Here, wait.
unless
I'm
it's a
gonna do
cake.
it. This is
a cake. I'm gonna
This
eat
is a
cake.
Crappens.
I want
Crappens on
cake.
demand. Okay, Crappens on demand thing. Oh my goodness, everyone! I've got a white circle in my hand, and oh my god, it's not there anymore. You weren't even watching, Ronnie. You didn't even see
I'm
my
sorry.
magic
I'm on Instacart ordering cake. You can do that.
I literally did a magic trick for you, and you didn't even watch.
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, he's busy. I can get a cake. I don't have to.
Wait, you want to see a magic trick? Okay, watch this one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a circle. It's a circle.
Okay.
Sometimes in life, there's more than what it seems. I just made it double in size.
Whoa. Oh my God. Were you holding Chase's wiener earlier? That's amazing.
Oh, made it double in size, but look, I can make it disappear. Close my hands and disappear.
Saw that one. But the other one was pretty good.
Wait a second. Look, it's two circles, or is it just one?
Wow.
Okay,
what
I'm
a
annoying
sleight of
everyone.
hand.
I'm annoying everyone who's only listening to the audio. They're like, "What the fuck is Ben doing
I've
right
got
now
news
on
for
his
you.
camera?"
Also, the people who have that video. I'm just kidding.
David Copperfield, watch out.
David Copperfield. That would be my magician name. David Copperfield. Here he comes. Oh my God, there's David Copperfield. He's been cancelled for filling up cake.
David Blaine, or as I like to call him, David Blame, because he's mad he didn't get to go to the club. Also,
That's
which is
the
making
stews.
sense.
Okay, so the guests are
Danny
getting
Blame.
ready to. I'm sorry, what are you saying?
Danny Blame instead of David Blaine. Danny Blame.
I like that you're still workshopping it. It's like this season on Below Deck Down Under. You're like, David Blaine.
There's
Down.
only so many
Take it.
magicians. There's only so many magicians I can come. It's like David Blaine, David Copperfield, and Chris Angel. And then after that, like, good luck. You're not famous enough.
Isn't Carrot Slop a magician, or is he only a
Carrot
comic?
slop. I think he meant mushroom ketchup.
All the fun of ketchup. Okay, so everybody's getting ready to go out, and the boys decide to just stay dressed how they are because why not? And then now they're going over plans for the next day. So Keith is like, what's the plan for departure and everything? And Glenn's like, the plan is, and Chase says, 0 drinking, 0 tolerance. Glenn's like, well, that would be normal policy on board, but if you're going to keep these guests entertained, none of this, 2 drinks. That's it. 2 drinks. And you guys are back on the boat at 2:00, and anybody forfeiting the rules tonight will be forfeiting their share of nurses from the cave.
What was that? I mean, the tip. The tip. Chase is like, well, I'm gonna egg everyone to fuck up now. You guys can all stay till 4 a.m. So Daisy's like, well, this is late, and I'm sorry, one of the drag queens, I think it's Detox, is taking long to get ready. And so as a result, I think what this means is that the stews can't start cleaning the rooms because they're still waiting, which means they're going to be up a little bit later. So Daisy says, well, this is late and it'll be too much to do. So Diana, I'm sorry, just stay up and I'll work out the hours. And Diana's like, fine, but it's always me. And she's like, well, hopefully the cabins won't be too bad. She goes, oh, they are. Putin will get you.
Yeah, and Deanna does have a point in this, that it is always her. Like, I guess I hear her say that the most, so I guess I'm assuming that that's the truth. But who cares? It's your job. Do your fucking job. So Daisy's like, my sole purpose of my job as chief stew is to make sure the guests get what they want and when they want it, and that's what being a good host is. Mm-hmm. So she's like, they think this is going to be fun, but I want to be in fucking bed,
Yeah. So Glenn's like, okay, Days, you know the drill. 2 drinks, 2 a.m. Don't expose the drag queens to sunlight and don't feed them after midnight.
And don't forget to give that really surly one some cheese sticks.
But don't get water on her. So Danny... Lola's gonna show back up at the boat in a little Corvette.
She does kind of give those gremlin vibes, that like really hot girl gremlin with the blonde.
Oh yeah.
wig.
Oh, 100%. She's like the lady gremlin. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever the lady gremlin.
I mean, she's very pretty, Lola, but I could totally see her playing that gremlin role. Okay, so Danny. So now Danny and Deanna are talking, and Danny's like, she told me to tell you to go to bed at midnight. And she goes, but then she changed her mind. And they're like, oh my God, let's kill her. But wait, I only get 8 hours sleep. You get 9.
It's the only 8 hours, and you're getting 9 hours. Oh my goodness. So now they're all gonna head out. The blessed few get to go out to the club, and Daisy's like, thanks again, Detox, for bringing us all out with your fabulous friends and inviting us out. So they of course they start drinking pretty quickly and pretty hard. So Gary and Daisy are on their second drink like right away. Now here's what I don't understand. Like, here's how I would approach the situation. I know it's tempting, but like, why don't you guys just drink your drink slower in this situation? Like, given that you're on the clock, like, why don't you just, like, because the guests are going to pressure you to drink more and more and more. So if you just drink very slowly, that should help, right? Am I just being totally naive? I guess when the shots come around, or you could, by the way, just be a professional and say, I can't because I'm still working.
Yeah, I think that they just think that they'll get away with it. I think Daisy is of the mindset that if she's not fall down drunk, she'll be fine. And she knows what she can handle. Gary, and also I think Daisy gets off a lot lighter on this show because Gary's there. I think if she was drinking as hard as she was every night without Gary there, people would be like, something's wrong with Daisy. Like, Daisy's got an issue. But because Gary's there, he kind of overshadows her. And also she can hold her liquor better. Like, she's fine when they get back to the boat. She's not acting like an idiot.
She gets into uniform. She's attentive. She's like back on business.
She's fine.
And I think that actually, if Gary had not been such a disaster, Glenn would have probably would not have asked them how many drinks they had, or he might have looked the other way and played dumb,
Right.
But Gary
as long as they were
the issue
handling
for all
themselves.
of them.
Yeah, as usual. So then the girls are pissed now. They're like, I don't give a fuck. And Tiana's like, oh, I'm not standing up for her anymore. Who cares? Who needs you fucking standing up for her? The only reason you have to stand up for her is because you're working with fucking, Satan over there who's dissing her every 2 seconds.
Because like who do you have to defend her to? Like there's no Senate committee that you're testifying in front of. The only person who you have to discuss Daisy with is the bottle of mushroom ketchup over there named Danny.
But I thought you liked mushroom ketchup.
You're right. She's garbage ketchup. She's peach ketchup.
So Deanna's like, I try to understand Daisy, but at this point she's doing shitty job managing time. Excuse me, ma'am. When you bitched last time, didn't Daisy end up saying, I'll do this, you go to bed, because apparently you're not happy? And she's like, oh, she's being so passive aggressive. But Daisy still stayed up all night to do your job because you fucking complained. And I think that was Daisy's mistake, was giving in even a little bit and being passive aggressive instead of just saying, this is your fucking job, okay? Cry on your own time.
Yeah, I think like that's one of the problems I think sometimes of being like a nice boss is that then people expect like I don't want people to be terrible bosses and evil bosses, but I think one thing we see on the show though is if you're going to be a nice boss, there's actually an art to it, and if you're not careful, I think the people who work under you forget that they work under you, and they maybe think that they're like a peer or something like that. And sometimes they just need like a little slap on the wrist to be like, no, like all this stuff that you're complaining about is a privilege, and I've been nice to you and you've gotten a lot of nice things. So just go take your 8 hours of sleep and stop complaining about it.
Yeah, stupid. So then Deanna's just complaining and now she agrees with Danny. And then Danny's telling us, maybe I helped her. Maybe I inspired her. I think Daisy's used to stews that just shut up and take it. Actually, no, she's not. And that's why you're not really bothering her all that much, And she's like, but Deanna and I all... Say it again?
I think she's used to stews that do their job.
Well, she's not really used to that either. I mean, we've been watching this show long enough. Daisy is used to a clusterfuck, and you are one, but you're like a blip on her radar. You're like a problem that's going to be gone very soon. Yeah. You're not lucky enough to be like herpes that keeps coming back. You're like chlamydia. You're like an antibiotic shot away, Bye.
Yeah. Mosquito bite even. So the guests are now. The guests are pressuring Daisy to keep. They're like, come on, keep drinking, come on. And Ellery's like, guys, I'm tired. Shut up, Ellery. So then Daisy's like, well, I don't know what to do. I feel like it's rude to turn down a drink. I'm here to serve and to cater. I'm like, you're here to serve and to cater, correct? And not to drink the catering that you're serving.
Yeah, not imbibe. You didn't say imbibe. And so now the drink counter is going off. She's had 3 drinks. Keith has had 2, and Gary's had 4. After he just did a shot. And now it's time to go to the nightclub. And so now Danny and Deanna are still bitching. And back to the club. Chase is like, let's not fucking drink too much tonight, guys. This is huge wiener guy telling you this. Y'all have to listen to me. I'm bigger than all of you.
Just remember, I will be receiving your tips because you're going to drink too much. And Gary's like, oh, Chase, shut up. You're the most boring motherfucker around. I'm going to get shit-faced. 2 drinks for me is like, no. Oh, does he say I'm going to get or I'm not going to get shit-faced? Either way, he says, 2 drinks for me is like nothing. I'm like, do you remember how you made us sit through that really annoying scene of you drinking a glass of wine to celebrate how you stopped drinking? What happened to that energy? Because that is gone right now.
Literally 5 minutes later. I love that HR probably had some talk with him and he's like, okay, from now on, you're only getting good boy clean Gary. And, 10 minutes later, he's like, okay, you got that on an episode. Just watch that over and over again. So then he's like, I'm Carolina McQueen, and I like to party. Right now, I'm not even Gary. Whatever happens is on her.
So now Gary's had 6 drinks. Daisy's had 4. I was actually sad that Daisy had 4 because I was like, okay, maybe Daisy will have 3. But I was like, oh, Daisy, you're also just going to go racing right past that finish line. And even Keith has had 3. So Chase is like, I'm shitting a brick, bro. I mean, we're still on charter. We don't drop off till tomorrow. So meanwhile, Glenn is like back boring Chase. He's like, well, Cloyce, Chloe's not Chase. You know, there's like fucking mites living in our eyelashes and shit, and there's stuff living in our gut that we can't live without.
He's like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, in certain animals, they can't fucking reproduce without the microbes. It's crazy.
So then, Chase is like, oh, God, when are we going to leave, guys? Because it's 1:45. So Chase gets them all out of there. They all leave. Good little boy Chase does it. And they do. Gary has now had 10 drinks.
Now, let me also remind you all that when it said that Gary's had 10 drinks, I think it was somewhere around like 1:15, 1:20. When he hit the 10 drinks, they were still on the boat at 11 a.m. That means that he had like basically 10 drinks in about 2 hours. That's wild. Okay. 10 drinks in 2 hours. Maybe let's give him 2.5 hours, even 3 hours. That's a lot in that span of time.
I mean, been there.
Maybe in college. I
didn't go to college. Okay. My college was my 20s and my 30s and half of my 40s.
But like, I think
the school of life lasts a lot longer. Okay. It takes a lot longer to get through when it's free.
Like in my college days, like, I swear to God, like there were probably several nights where I had like 15 beers for sure. But that was also spread over from like starting at 8 going to 2 in the morning, which is still like a lot of beers, but like over 6 hours. But I'm just saying, I'm not being judgy over the fact that like, I can't believe you're that a lot. It's like that you're on the job and you were told to have 2 drinks and instead you had 10 drinks in the span of 2 hours.
You're right. Wild. It's just like a very heavy drinker. Like, I just can't go there with you. You know what I mean? I'm like, I support you on this path, Ben. I'm just not next to you. I'm behind you, swerving.
I'm not trying to be judgy to our heavy drinkers out there. I'm just being judgy to Gary, who's being a heavy drinker on the clock when he's been told not to.
No, I hear you.
And on top of the fact that he just had his whole little scene where he's like,
Gary, it's just typical Gary, and he ruins it. He kind of ruins it for everybody, you know what? And also, he's a boss, so I think that if he had kind of stayed within, and Keith is an adult, but Keith also is like, they're doing it. Why not have another couple of drinks? Obviously, it'll be fine. So if your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff too? If they jumped off a cliff with fucking shots of Adderall and the Coke and Lola's Bustier, fuck yeah, I would.
So meanwhile, back on the boat, you know that Jupiter doesn't even have a solid surface. It's a gas giant. It's not a rocky planet, you know. Let me tell you something. Who else is a gas giant? Me, after some mushroom ketchup. Hey!
Speaking of Jupiter, I told you, but I'm going to Jupiter, Florida this weekend for a 30-year reunion of all the apprentices that did that stuff at the Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater back in the day. I cannot believe it. That was my college, actually. Speaking of college and Jupiter, that was mine. So wish me luck.
Wow. Drops of Jupiter. So
I know my way around here.
I am going to wish you luck, Ronnie. I hope you have a great time in Jupiter.
Well, thank you.
So I like to call it Jupiter to make it sound a little classy.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's going to be great. So now I'm back at the club. It's time for them to go. So they are heading back to the boat, and Glenn is waiting on the deck because Glenn knows Gary is going to be wasted. So he's not even, Glenn's like, I'm not going to lie in my bed and get woken up. I'm going to witness this because I know he's going to get wasted. So they all come back, and Glenn's like, so how was it? And Ellery's like, well, they only had 2 drinks, Glenn. Shut up, Ellery. You don't have a good poker face. She ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, Ellery purposely throws them under the bus, which I thought was gross. I mean, I'm kind of on Lola's side against Ellery. I think Ellery's an asshole, too. So then Glenn was like, great, Daisy, did you have fun? She goes, we did have fun. And she seems soberish, right? I'm sure she doesn't smell it as she passes right by him. And then Gary's like, do you want me? He's like, you want me to come to the boat? Oh my God. I almost wore my shoes on the boat.
Gary is doing weird things on the end of that passerelle. He's like falling over, and he's just like, he's doing that thing where he is the drunk person trying to pretend like he's sober, and he's definitely not succeeding, you know? So he's like trying to walk sort of straight and normally, but he's also flailing at the same time, and he's like futzing with the shoebox, and he's like, oh, I almost brought my shoes onto the shoe basket, jacuzzi. I'll make it cold for you guys. I'm sober and attentive.
And Detox is like, Glenn, this is my daughter, and I swear she's sober and she's going to bed. Which was also kind of a bus throw. But Gary, there's no hiding it with Gary, you know? So Gary kind of is the bus rolling onto itself. And so Gary is like, well, I'm just going to get a shoe basket and I'll get the jacuzzi cold for you guys. If our neighbor ever mows his lawn, mow your lawn. It's a hot tub.
And Glenn, okay, Gary, you're going to go to bed? You want me to tell you stories about gas giants and mites in our eyelids? Good night, everyone. Good night. It was wonderful seeing you. Good night. Glad I only had 2 drinks for you all. Good night. Okay, Gary, you can go to sleep now. Good night, Detox. And
he might have gotten away with it if he just went to bed, but instead he goes down to bed and then climbs out like an escape hatch or something, and he's like, "Can't get me!" And so now he is wasted on deck, and
he's like sitting in the corner, like laughing to himself. He's like, it was a nice little set, but he's making all these like
he's talking to himself. Noises. He's just like sitting there talking to himself. Yeah, it's true. He's just like sitting there, chain smoking, talking to himself, and the captain can see all this, you know. So meanwhile, Lola is talking shit to Daisy at the bar, and she's like, "Who's more of a pain in the ass, Ellery or Lola?" Oh no, who's talking to?
I think it was actually Detox. I think Detox said it. Who's more of a pain in the ass, Ellery or Lola? And Daisy's like, none of you are a pain in the ass. None of you. And Lola's like, you're more of a pain in the ass than I am. No one is. Everyone's great. You and Ellery are both wonderful, wonderful guests.
And Ellery goes, yeah, in the delusional world of Lola. She's like, oh my God, not the right one. You're boring as fuck, Ellery.
Lola versus Ellery. I could watch it all day. So then Gary is like, smoking, sitting, well behaved. I know. He has like that weird laugh where he's like,
he sounds like a demon being slowly sucked out of a person, you know?
I know. Very exorcism-y.
So Detox is like, well, don't be upset, Lola, when someone snaps back at you the way that you snapped at them. That's my note. And Lola's like, don't even. You're a little aggressor the entire time with me, too. So, no, never mind. Everyone, do not mind Lola, okay? So then Lola turns to Daisy and she's like, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of her being a cup fitness to me.
All right, tensions are high, but nobody's doing anything wrong. She's like, well, I just want to say that I've had a lovely time on this boat with y'all. Daisy's like, yes, you've been great. Honestly, you've been great, except for your gentle attitude and persona and everything else about you. So Gary is still like, blah, 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 blah. I love life, Chase, get you eat, blah, 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 blah. And Chase is back to work. He's in his uniform. He's cleaning and everything. And Keith goes up to Gary and he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on? I saw Glenn and I was like, fuck, we're gonna get in trouble. And Gary's like, hey, I ain't having a big, oh my God, I reckon it's gonna be a good fucking trip, you guys. Let's manifest it.
I'm so glad someone finally said that, because he's like, you know what I hate? A fucking bag. It's so difficult. There's the pockets in here. It's time to fight for the women's rights to have pockets, because this bag sucks. He can't find anything in there. He's just rifling through his purse trying to find another cigarette.
I have to say, over the summer when we went to Europe, I did actually use my very first ever man purse. And I loved it.
Yeah, we both had our little Euro bags. I had one too.
Little
I didn't love it as much.
I liked it because I just felt like I don't know. It was like I didn't have like pocket issues. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but I felt liberated. There was something
really cute in your little Merce, and you had a much nicer one than me. I feel like I had like kind of one off the street that I bought in somewhere just for $10. But you had like a fierce one that you went like shopping online for yours and got a really nice. Mine
was from Amazon. It was $8 off of Amazon.
Oh really? It looks so nice.
Yeah, it was it had like a book bag clasp. But
it was cute. It was real cute.
But you know what though? Both of us have upgrades now, and I forgot to mention that. So I'm gonna give you a bag.
I have a bag upgrade, a man purse upgrade. Ooh.
You got a man purse upgrade that came in courtesy. I'll just say it, courtesy of the one and only Becky.
No way. Rebecca Minkoff gave us Merces.
Rebecca Minkoff gave us Merces. And really
my God. Okay, you have to show me tomorrow on this when we record that show.
I'll show it on the show tomorrow. It's a little teaser for our Roni recap. It's a Rebecca Minkoff show off moment.
Oh my God. That's so cool. Okay, so Glenn is like, guys, he's working. So Gary, finish your cigarette and go to bed. He's like, yeah, any fun. Mow your lawn. He's like, go to bed, Gary. I'll go when I'm ready. Go now. So Gary goes, mad loss of respect, bro. Seriously?
Okay, Gary, you're not one to talk. So Glenn says,
I think that Gary knows that he can't be fired. Basically, because Gary, this is a sailboat. It's not just a regular boat where you can just hire anybody to come on. This is a sailing yacht. And I don't think that they have as many people in that workforce that can do what Gary does. And that's why he gets away with all this shit. He'll probably be back next season. What do you think?
I mean, I think that I know you're just joking. They probably will replace him, but that could be I think that
I'm not joking. I think they might keep him for next season.
Wow. Well, either way, I do think that there's something to what you're saying, that he knows that it's just not simple to just get a sailing boat replacement. He also knows he's like a star of the show. He also has a relationship with Glenn. I think that he's feeling comfy, and I think he also is thinking that he's like famous in Bravo world. So I think it's going to his head, and really out of all people, he's not the one to say mad loss of respect, bro. So Glenn says, I've worked for Gary for a long time. No, you don't have to put up the afro photo. I haven't worked from that long ago, but for him to disappoint me in this way, it doesn't really make sense. Glenn starts doing this thing where he starts squinting his eyes a lot because he's so upset. He's like, I don't understand it. I mean, Gary knows better than this, and Gary needs to go the fuck to sleep right now.
Yeah. So Daisy, he comes to bed and he's like, Glenn thinks I'm drunk. And she's like, go to bed, Gary. You are a bit drunk. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm sober. So she's like, I believe that Gary wants to change, and then he spirals again. He's just so self-destructive. It's incredibly painful to watch sober, which is why I drink. So.
Yeah. I mean, I am very concerned about Gary's future as a human being. I think he's gone. I think he's going down a terrible, terrible path. Like, just as a human being who's alive, I don't like what he does to people. But like, this is
I don't like what he does to people. But as far as what he does to himself, I mean, I don't know. I pass dumpsters every day, and I don't think about what's in them. I just keep driving. Wish them the best.
Yeah,
he's pushed me too far. I don't care. I mean, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I just don't. I don't think about it.
No, I think it's more just like it's that thing where you're watching someone who has peaked in his life, and like he doesn't realize.
Well, welcome.
Like, you're on TV, you're like a star here. The sand is flowing through your fingers right now, and he doesn't see it. It's very sad to me.
Yeah,
he's also a raging alcoholic, like PK.
Raging 100%. So now, the next morning, Daisy compliments the girls on the boat, and Deanna's like, "Yeah, it was crazy." She goes, "The cabins were?" She goes, "Yeah. I want to sleep." And she goes, "Nearly there, girl. A few more days, you can do it." So,
by the way, we didn't mention the fact that at one point when Deanna was cleaning, she was like, "Ugh, there's still poop in the toilet." So one of
Lola,
I'm sure it was not Ellery. I'm telling you, that was Lola. Lola definitely left a turd in that toilet
purposely. Purposely. She's
came
an
out of my anal area. Yeah.
So now it's breakfast time, and Daisy knows she's in trouble, and Gary's like, I can see his attitude already. So then Danny is basically Daisy's radioing for everybody to change. And Danny's like, why am I scared? And Deanna's like, I know how I am, and I don't say things right away. And the last time you had another extra hour, she said, oh, I'm giving you an extra hour as well. And she didn't. And I still haven't seen all that extra hour. It didn't make sense, bro. Fuck you then, Daisy.
Well, why don't you say something? Why don't you say, hey, I think you may have forgotten, but I'm supposed to have an extra hour. So now they line up. Everyone goes off. All the guests leave except Detox is there with, I guess, Detox's sister. And Detox, all of a sudden, Detox has a new persona. And Detox is like, it was such a pleasure. And I just want to say how important yesterday was for me being a visible queer person to have all of you rally behind us in such a fierce way. It was really spectacular. And I know there was some murmuring about some of our satisfactions with the meal, but that cut fitness isn't here right now. And let me tell you something. We all loved it, okay? Fuck Lola LaCroix. Am I right, everyone? Honk that motherfucking horn, Glenn.
Bon voyage, motherfuckers. And Glenn's like, all right, hold on a second. I got a special surprise for you. Hey, no. Damn it, he upstaged my honk.
Okay, girls, stew meeting. How do we feel? And Diana, you look scarred. And Diana's like, yes, it was just like a little like, I don't understand what happened. To be honest, I was the one waking up early and I went to bed the same time as Danny. And then I was the one given 8 hours of sleep instead of 9. 8 full hours of sleep? What am I? A peasant working in sweatshop? This is ridiculous. It didn't make any sense to me.
I wish that Daisy had said, I know that you got shafted on the hour, but girlfriend was downstairs all day in laundry while you got to serve and be in the sun. So I felt like it was only fair, whatever. I wish she had come up with something, but she still gets defensive, but I think she handles it. I think she handles her emotions well, but you still see Daisy getting like, oh, really? Fair enough. But the days were crazy, and I'll make sure the next time that you get made up for it. She goes, but it's already the second time that it's happened, so it's like annoying. And I don't make the management of the hours. You are the one. And you still got 8 hours. What are you?
Well, I really do put thought into it, and I'm not here just to cater to you. She goes, but I am doing my job. Absolutely. So you think I'm not doing my job? She goes, well, next time, if you can just think a little bit, okay, I will sit down and take the time to think just to make sure you get the same exact hours as Donnie.
So she's like, oh my God, I got 8 hours rest and she got 9. Listen to yourself. She's like, I think I stand up for my girls. I look after them. And of course I'm getting pushed back. That's a running pattern. It's exhausting. So then Keith checks in with her and she's like, I cannot stand those bitches. And she's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, they're whiny. And so he supports her. So she's like, oh my God, you're just like a saltine cracker. I can't wait to eat you while I crave something better.
So now Glenn radios for Daisy, Gary, Chase, and Keith to come to the master cabin because it's time to speak to the principal. Okay, so last night you went out with the guests. I set some ground rules, and I could tell that you had more than 2 drinks. Gary's like, well, I had a couple of drinks. How many did you have? 5. You being honest, Gary? How many did you have? Because Ellery gave me a number, and it wasn't 5. Fucking Ellery. And now I see why Lola says about her. Like, makes all sense.
So he's like, how many did I tell you to have? 2. Okay, Keith. Keith admits to 4 or 5. Daisy words it as, I had 2 drinks and 2 shots and 2 bitches downstairs bitching about me the whole time.
So you had 4 drinks. Well, if you want to say there are 4 drinks, but I like to think of it as 1 alcoholic drink, another drink with alcohol, and 2 shots that are made of alcohol. So I think, I don't know, maybe about 1 drink total.
So Chase is like, I had 1 beer. I'm a good boy. And he's like, that's it? 1 beer. And she's like, yeah, Chase is true. He's had 1 beer. And so Glenn's like, well, I don't want to take your tip, but if I set a rule and I tell you the consequences and I don't follow through, that's a fucking free-for-all, isn't it? And Gary just starts freaking out. He's like, we didn't abuse the situation. I was not drunk last night.
This is what's crazy, and Gary's probably still drunk. Daisy knows right away. She goes, you're right, I broke the rules and I apologize. Like, that's all you have to say. She just like nips it in the bud. But Gary, for some wild reason, decides he's actually going to try to take this to trial.
idiot. And so Glenn's like, well, I'm up till 2 or 3 a.m. chasing you guys into bed. Gary's like, which I've never seen in my life before, Glenn. Like he's mad at Glenn for making him go to bed.
Yeah,
this guy's
like, because you're not
unbelievable.
following the fucking rules. He goes, well, in all honesty, I was not fucked up last night. It's like, it doesn't matter whether you're fucked up or not. The rule was 2 drinks, and you had 10, and now you're lying. You're lying and saying you only have 5, and you're mad that you're getting called out on your lie on top of everything else. I mean, you're not getting called out on the lie, but you're lying and then acting like you were totally in the right. Like you have no leg to stand on in this situation.
And you were completely fucked up. And so Gary's like, well, oh, you can fine. Just take 100% from me then. He's going to. That's the fucking point, babe.
Yeah.
So he's like,
you don't get to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah. Glenn's like, I don't think your attitude's right. And he's like, so the guests are requesting us to drink. So then he goes, no, Gary, don't confuse things. You were not forced to drink. And he's like, yes. And he's like, no, you were not forced to drink. I did not say at any point that you have to drink. You knew the rules. You broke the fucking rules. And now guess what you're getting? Anal. Please go away. Please.
I mean, I think the way that Gary's acting, like, I would fire him. You know, it's like he broke the rule, but then he's also the amount of attitude he's giving back to the captain, like the disrespect. I would 100% fire him. Although I know that's not realistic, but you know,
I think any other show would, but again, I think this one just can't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Chase could be bosun. I don't know. It's dangerous.
He has
I mean,
to know how to do the sails and fix the sails when they go off the rail and do all that stuff. And the motherfucker just dropped a shackle in the water, so they're not going to trust Chase to do it. You know,
Davide may be able to pick up some of the slack. Like a lot of times, those engineers are kind of like they're like master of all trades a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I thought Gary was being totally disrespectful. He was the one who fucked up, and then he lied about being fucked up, and then he's gonna try to make it seem like Glenn is being the unreasonable one. And I think it's totally inappropriate.
Yeah, gross.
Disgusting. Anyway, that was fun. Thanks everyone for being here for this. Enjoyed talking about it. And be sure to get your tickets at watchcrappens.com. Be sure to vote for the Crappies for round 1. Make sure your favorites make it to round 2, because if they don't make it to round 2, they will not be able to get a Crappie. And as we know, it's the most prestigious award in award season. So make sure that justice is served. And we will catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's always automatic with Ashley Auto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Catherine DiBernardo has our hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt.
Dana C. Dana Do.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels!
Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey. You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones.
I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Manock's door.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry.
We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
Have a heck of a time with Rebecca.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors. She's VVIP, it's Amanda V.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's got a leg up. It's Beth Ani.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Don't get salty with Christine Pepper.
Can't have a meal without the Emily sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron.
She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy.
Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters. She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Put on a kettle for Rebecca Weddle.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Couture. We love you guys.